Rotti in the ESL studio, holding it down all by himself, casting Go for SC2 every Sunday.
Every Sunday, I had 4 Zergs in the semi-final, and I just...
And it's just like going through the motions, and there's the Baneling nest.
Yes.
There's the Banelings, there's the fight.
And the funniest thing was, Ben, about those days is there was like this little French kid that nobody really knew. And I knew him from Warcraft 3, and his name was Stefano. And he just kept winning every Sunday, and I was getting really tired of it. I want to hype him, but on a certain moment I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, yeah, so we have another Go for Starcraft II, and most likely Stefano is going to win again. And he did. And then every day I walked home, and you should imagine the Talset, man. Like, I walk across this long road in Germany, which is just lighted up.
It's a long walk.
Yeah, it's like 11 or 12. It's like 1 a.m. even maybe. And the only light there is from some taxis driving by. And I see like this big river, the Rhine, next to it. And then I look into it, and I was like, another Sunday, another Zerg. Shall I jump or not? But I'm glad I didn't, Ben, because a lot of good things.
Stefano did, of course, go on to become the most successful foreign player in all of StarCraft II. And he's actually playing today.
Go for StarCraft II. Yes, he is. Later today, by the way, guys, for all the Stefano fans out there, Stefano versus Beastie Cutie is going to be a sick
another player who kind of got his start playing Go for StarCraft.
Yeah, I can't say that often enough. I mean, I'm covering those tournaments in the Euro updates, but Go for StarCraft II is just such a nice platform to launch yourself if you feel that you're good enough. I mean, for instance, Hearthstone, like a lot of people completely unaware of Hearthstone. Wow, how can this kid make top 16 DreamHack? Well, if you would have followed the Go for StarCraft II a little bit, you know that he's been playing for 6 months, literally, in almost every single one of them.
He's top 8 week after week after week, and he's top 8 against guys like Cass and Beastie and Nurchio and Stefano and Sokka and Cloud. I mean, the Go for StarCraft II level is so high. It's probably the hardest weekly cup that you can participate in. It's great practice. All the best Europeans playing it every single week. And guys, if you are an aspiring pro gamer, or even if you just want to test your mettle against some of these guys, go sign up. It's free to play. You can win 500 euros if you do well enough.
Alright, anyways, guys, back to this game. We see Liquid's HerO open up with double assimilator, man. So no greedy Nexus first or even a 1-gate fast expand here from HerO. But he's going for the double assimilator. We see Ryung maybe a little bit afraid because of that, and he's going to drop the command center in his main base rather than in his natural. And the funny thing is, man, these two guys, they played against each other in the regular season. HerO won 2-0 back then, but they also played dual side. And back then, HerO went for the 1-gate fast expand, and Ryung actually went for the 1-1-1 build.
Yeah, well, I mean, dual side is a map that does favor one base all ends. I mean, it's just it's a lot like Xel'Naga Caverns, and I know I've said that before, but if you were to just take these out, like these corner expansions, and put them in the middle of the map, it would be Xel'Naga. It really would be. And I mean, it's short, it's close distances, it's a very easy push to make.
Wow. I want to be like a smartass and say, but there are no Xel'Naga watchtowers because there are gateways, but there are actually Xel'Naga watchtowers here. So man, couldn't be the annoying smartass today, man. Ryung is going to drop the bunker over here, and this is something cool that we've seen a couple of times from Huck, who also has to play PvT, that Protoss players often like to get a pylon over here, then get high ground vision with just a stalker over the edge, and then wipe in a couple of units. But I hope for HerO that's not going to be the case, even though, man, he is dropping 3 additional gates, but he has a pretty reasonable economy, 23 probes, so it's not a super greedy 4-gate.
But it's still a 4-gate.
Yeah, he's going to have to deal some serious damage with this.
He's going to have to do it going up a ramp. That's going to be tough, Kev.
Yeah.
Though it's possible, it's definitely possible, and dual side is one of the few maps where I think you can really do some cool things with high ground
Marine, Ben. HerO Marine. Ryung knows what's up. Ryung seems to be really well prepared today. He's going to scout over here as well. Perfect scouting by the Korean Terran. Scouts with the SCV. No, don't send. He sent it back. Oh, if he would have scouted that pylon.
Just barely misses.
But is he going to drop a second bunker? I think this SCV wants to drop a second bunker. He is, so he still has a pretty good read on the situation.
Well, we have to realize he did scout the natural, and he saw that there was nothing there, and that's a huge tell.
And HerO losing this probe immediately, that's also very bad. Means no warp in pylon over here. There's no way Ryung is going to be able to bust this, Ben.
Yeah, or there's no way HerO is going to be able to bust this. Ryung is looking very, very, very safe. 2 bunkers, plenty of units to fill them. HerO not even sending another probe. He's probably just going to expand, Kev, in spite of all these units that he's made.
I mean, those are the small things that make HerO so good. Straight away he realizes that my opponent... What?
Robo going down.
Yeah, I spotted the Robo. But it's funny that HerO want to go for the 4-gate and then straight away realize, like, no, actually my opponent knows exactly what's going on. Not just because he lost that probe to the bunker over here, it's also because of the SCV scout. The SCV scouted the natural, and that's something that you want to prevent. If you are the 4-gater, you want to sell it as convincingly as possible, and there's there cannot be an SCV on the map who can just run into your natural and get that confirmation like, hey, still no Nexus around 6 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
I think I know what's going on.
It's obviously a huge tell. If you're not expanding, then you have to be attacking. And Ryung just doing it right here in the early stages of the game.
Shells, Ryung. He could have walked down with the Marauder, because I'm not sure if HerO would have paid full attention. Ryung already produced quite a few units. Ryung figures out that it's safe to float over his orbital right now. He scouted the Nexus again. I'm not sure how he did that this time. Maybe you saw it.
No, I was actually watching this skirmish up outside of Ryung's natural expand. He has landed this expansion, and he's just going to be moving into a pretty normal mid-game. HerO, meanwhile, he did build the rowboat, and then he immediately threw down the robotics base, so I think he's going to try and go up and maybe make a 2-base Colossus push.
HerO's going to have to be careful, Ben, because there is concussive shells. Oh, beautiful warp in there from the north side, from the Python, but still, he lost quite a few Stalkers. He's going to end up losing those Zealots as well. And Marauders are not super good against sentries, so he's not going to try to pick those off.
That was a pretty good fight for HerO, or like a really good fight for HerO. There's no units here, Kev. But there's also really no warp in pylon, so I do think that ultimately Ryung will be okay.
Yeah, Ryung is going to have a lot of units in the near future, but right now he just doesn't really have a lot of units. Stim is ready in 40 seconds. HerO's he's playing with fire though, man. This is so risky.
This is right literally all of HerO's army, but he's using it so very effectively. He's just parking it right outside the natural expand of Ryung. Ryung has pulled all these SCVs for repairs. He knows that this is kind of a pivotal moment in the game. And
oh, there's still Stalker behind the mineral line. Didn't see that. Crouching Stalker, man. He kind of blends in with the minerals, man. That's
Crouching
a good secret.
Stalker, hidden pylon.
Yeah, but there's no hidden pylon. Hidden laser, like behind the mineral line. Wow, mineral line is shooting at us.
He's like behind the tree and he shoots. You just see lasers coming out of the leaves. Why do you think Stalkers can climb trees?
They just like blink on top of them, Ben. Why would they climb? Wow, beautiful scan here by Ryung is instantly gonna pick out that observer. Saw the little blur probably. Now Ryung will probably finally scout this Python. No.
Well, then here's a different question for you. What do you think a Stalker child looks like?
I don't know, Ben. Stop asking.
I bet it looks like a widow mine.
I have no idea how it looks like. I don't want to think about it.
Little baby Stalker?
I'm sure
it's like a full-size Stalker. It's just half the size.
If it has some
and they don't have blink yet. I bet they can climb trees.
See, this factory from Ryung is taking a little bit of damage. You want to keep those factories alive. That's something that MKP has shown us a lot in our PvT past. Because yeah, they can really help out zoning out Zealots and all that stuff. Ryung has his medevacs, man. He has the first 2 medevacs. He's gonna load them up, gonna float into the main base, and this is a crucial phase. Whenever you open up with 4-gate, this is always the phase of the game when you're most vulnerable as Protoss. You have very few units and you have a very immobile army. You have no upgrades on your gateway units. Colossus is almost out, but not yet. And even if there's just a single Colossus out.
Yeah. There's 2 now.
Oh,
there's 2 Colossus.
Okay,
yeah, I mean, Ryung lost all those initial units, Kev. I have a hard time believing he can make this work.
I kind of like this, though. This is a nice moment to pick up. He's once more going to pick up a Stalker. He's going to pick up this Pylon. Now when he spots his 2 Colossus, he's probably just going to pick up those units and float away.
Oh, good job, Billy!
Wow, not just Billy, man. Billy, all his friends went down as well. And the matter of fact, full of Marauders went down. That was a huge pick up for HerO, because that kind of gives him a little bit of air.
Yeah, and while it looks like he was pretty behind given the openings, I think all of a sudden HerO's in really good shape, Kev. He's got a supply lead. He's got extended thermal lance. He's got a lot of units. He's got a lot of gateways, and he's on the move. Ryung has just lost the vast majority of his army. He lost a single medevac. There's only 3 medevacs out against 2 Colossi and a lot of gateway forces. I don't think that it's going to be close. He's building more bunkers.
There are 2 Vikings out already. More Vikings are on the way. HerO doesn't have... He has a scary army over here, but it's not a super scary army. Army supply is kind of even.
He also has no pylon.
Oh, he's going to bring in actually those Stalkers from his main base. So right now, if Ryung would only send 1 medevac, he would be able to deal a tremendous amount of damage, but that's not going to be the case. I think Ryung is able to hold if he does everything perfectly.
It's going to be close. 1 bunker falling almost immediately. This is a huge Protoss army. And the Viking count just not high enough to really run in and engage it at this point. The Stalker is really doing a good job of keeping those Vikings away. There is no counter-aggression with drops.
HerO's going to go for it. For a second, I thought he was just going to go for it.
All of his units to hold. The one thing that HerO's lacking is a proxy pylon. Yeah, he's got no way to warp in.
And that's a really big deal, actually. Maybe that's why he already warped in the Templar archives in his main base. Maybe he didn't want to fully commit. Maybe he just wanted to scare Ryung. I'm not sure what the deal is. Or just see if he was able to do something. And then he realized that this would have been very tough. During considering all this, Ben, the players are on even economy. HerO is having Colossus tech. That's normally pretty good for a Terran.
Yep, and so I guess HerO just going to be content to back off and maybe even take a third base. He's going to go ahead and deal with this factory that was blocking. And I still feel like HerO's in good shape, Kev. He's got his Storm Tech researching, so he's kind of ahead of the curve in terms of his transitions. And, you know, Ryung, his army is just not impressing me right now. It's bio-medevac against a Colossus number that's pretty formidable and with not that many Vikings.
But without, I mean, Charge is halfway done right now. The moment Charge is going to be ready and nothing really changed about the state of the game, then I'm starting to agree with you. But right now, I think it's a super even game, man. I really don't think you can say that HerO is ahead. 7 Vikings should be more than enough for 2 Colossus. He doesn't know yet about the High Templar switch, and that's indeed going to be a problem. But the moment he is going to have High Templars, he's going to spot it, and he will get some ghosts on his own again. Then things will even out.
Man, just taking a look at the APM tabs, you can see both these guys cruising along at a pretty good pace. But HerO, a little bit slower than Ryung, who's averaging about 120 in-game APM. The what am I looking for? I'm looking for EAPM, right?
Shift C.
Control C.
Shift C.
Well, to hell with that, Kev. We got a big fight in the middle of the map, so I'm trying to see the APMs. Both these guys playing really fast. Good storms going down by HerO. He did allow that to finish, but the Vikings do clean up these Colossi, and Ryung actually winning that fight in the middle of the map, surprisingly enough. That was a great engagement from Ryung, and HerO forced back here into his third base.
He's going to have to cancel this ball.
What a storm.
A beautiful storm indeed. Charge is ready right now, and HerO's getting 2 forges in his main base as well. Does he have additional storms? No, he doesn't. All those Vikings on the ground, they're actually pretty good against Zealous as well.
There's some Templar here. Oh, one of them gets sniped off. More Zealous being warped in. Nexus will fall. And is Ryung going to be able to get out of here with his army? He just picked off the expand. But,
that storm
wow,
is
actually,
good,
I think Ryung might just win the game, Kev. GG from HerO, and he taps out, and you were exactly right. Charge was just not fast enough, and when the fight did happen, in spite of the good storms, Ryung just rolled through.
The storms were good on a small fraction of the army, but the storms were not really good that it really forced Ryung to move. Like really good storms for Protoss, you drop them right in a Terran army and Terran is forced to run away. So in the moment they run away, they're not able to take damage, and Colossus and Stalker still get the remaining shots off. Storm did damage. These storms, they were sort of scary, but Ryung was never really forced to back off. So maybe they were just not good enough. And the rest of the Protoss army, like you were really impressed by it. It was just not a super strong army. It was 0-0 upgrades against 1 stimmed bio, a lot of Stalkers, a few Zealots.
Do you think HerO made a mistake fighting out on the map instead of just
I don't think he had to,
because he was fighting in a choke? Like, I think it was really silly of him to be out there in the middle.
I agree, because he was just getting his third base. He was investing in everything. He was dropping 2 forges in his main base. So I didn't really understand why he wanted to fight. Maybe he thought, hey, there are no ghosts in his army. Maybe I can completely crush his army because there are no ghosts. But the positioning of Ryung was just really good.
Yeah, that's something you really have to underscore. Ryung positioned his army brilliantly, spreading everything out. He had a massive concave. It was really impossible for HerO to just kill off big clumps of units because Ryung was coming in from so many different angles.
We're just starting, Ben, but I'm starting to feel that what is happening over here? I think HerO was one of the big favorites, not just going into the or to make it to the finals, but to actually win the entire NASL Season 3. He's our runner-up of Season 2. And before we even really kicked off this super long broadcasting day, where we're going to have 5 best of 5s, he's down 0-2. It's pretty mad.
Ryung's playing some pretty great StarCraft, Kev. Third map's going to be on Antigua Shipyard. We're going to see that game when we get back.